Welcome everyone. This is an introductory session on an overview of game theory and what will you learn from this subject through my series of video lectures. I am Dr. Ganesh. So what is game theory about? Game theory is all about analyzing situations where conflicts of interest are present. When there is a conflicting decision to make, for example, which restaurant to go today, or what food to order from for the menu today, or what subject to choose as an elective subject in the next semester. Anywhere there is a conflict of interest, you can use game theory. So see that example of the game of chicken. If two cars are coming face to face, one has to steer away so that the both of them can move along. As a driver, if you are one of the two drivers, what will you do? So analyze such situations and prescribe how conflicts can be resolved is the primary aim of game theory. Applications. Game theory is applied all over the world across different situations. For example, when you are a kid, you know what to bargain with your father versus what to bargain with your mother. That itself is a game theory. So without even learning it explicitly, you have been applying game theory through your life. For you know how to convince your class advisor, right? If you want a class to get cancelled. Now, formally, it's used in economics, primarily started with economics, markets, mergers and acquisition, auctions, different pricing strategies. Then in political science for fair division, public choice, understand the political economy. In biology, to model, for example, the competition between tumor cells and normal cells. Or in sports, should we do a run or a pass or pitch, fast ball versus slider. And then later in computer science and engineering, distributed systems, cloud computing, artificial intelligence, computer networks. So a lot of fields across interdisciplinary domains uses game theory as a way to solve their problems. So formally, game theory is designed to address situations in which the outcome of a person's decision depends on not just on how they choose among several options, but also on the choices made by the people they are interacting with. The study of strategic interactions among economic agents and the outcomes with respect to preferences. So the players are rational, and we study the strategic interactions where interaction happen with certain strategies applied. And we also look at what are different preferences of different players, the agents, and that is indicated through utilities that they get. So a game is played whenever people interact with each other. For example, bidding in an auction, or a crisis between two countries, or when a new standard comes up, should we adopt? And in game theory, one key characteristic is interdependence. One person's behavior affects another's well-being. You take the coronavirus case. Social distancing is important. While you maintain social distancing, the other person also should maintain with you. Otherwise, it's going to create a problem, isn't it? So, the outcome depends on both of you and your friend. So, what is not a game? If it is a monopoly where number of players who are playing is a single person, we don't treat that as game. Similarly, if we do not even know how many players are there, the players are infinite. It's a perfect huge competition, so we don't treat that as a game. So game needs finite number of players, minimum of 2, at least 2 players, and any number but that is finite. three major tensions of game theory: conflict between individuals or group, and then strategic uncertainty and insufficient coordination. So when interest conflict, that is one area that we address, and uncertain about what strategy to choose or how to choose a strategy. And when there is no third person who will tell and direct and coordinate what needs to be done, and a lack of that. All these are major tensions of strategic interaction. Short history: game theory is much older than any of us. It it goes all the way back to 1800s, almost 200-year-old concepts. And Nash, Harsney and Selton won the Nobel Prize for solution concepts in non-cooperative game theory. And you know what? Nobel Prize is not given to mathematicians, but they got it for the contributions they made to game theory, which revolutionized economics. So there is a video. I don't want to play here because you can search this video in YouTube itself and then find out. It's about pirates sharing coins that they got through a fight among themselves, and there are certain conditions. So the tallest guy here, the one who wear the cap, is the captain. He has to come up with a strategy on how to divide the coins among all of them such that majority of them are happy. If majority are not happy, the captain will be thrown into sea and the next person will become the captain. So if you are the captain, what will be the strategy that you come up with? It's a very important, very classic, uh, very thought-provoking example. So I suggest you to do a Google search and then listen to it. There's a Wikipedia also for this. Now, briefly, different types of games. I tried to classify games into different ways. So games could be simultaneous or sequential. Playing a rock, paper, scissors is a simultaneous game, whereas playing a chess is a sequential game. Symmetric and asymmetric. So a tic-tac-toe is symmetric, where both players have equal number of options and equal value. Asymmetric is, for example, buying an old car. The person who buy has a different value compared to the person who sell that car. Games can be of perfect information and imperfect information. So in a chess, we have all possible moves are known. We know what happened in the past. If I do something, what is going to happen in the future. We sort of know all the possible moves. But if it is imperfect information, for example, a card game, typically you may not know what cards your neighbor is holding, and hence you have to make guesses based on what card came out and what is getting played, things like that. Cooperative and non-cooperative games. So I have no political bias, just put some pictures of some politicians, that's all. Uh, and cooperative and non-cooperative games are two major branches of game theory, which we are going to focus on rest of this class. Zero sum and non-zero sum. The card game, for example, if one person's loss is nothing but the gain of another person, that is zero sum. And maybe pirates attacking in the ocean is non-zero sum, where once a pirate catch a ship, maybe the people in the ship, for them, their life itself is the benefit they want to take out. So not getting caught by pirates doesn't mean it's simply related to the money going away to pirates if they catch. So this is a typical non-zero sum game. Single shot game, I couldn't figure out any practical example of single shot games. I thought representatively I will show a nuclear destruction. Probably if that happens once, nothing will happen anymore. Whereas a repeated game is like, see this vegetable market, every day or every hour is repeated over and over. Where uh, the strategy of today, how you sold a particular vegetable, what is availability of the vegetable, that changes the strategies in the next round of selling, maybe the next day, tomorrow. So a game played again and again is repeated game. Different thoughts types by concept. I have listed thoughts by three different concepts: cooperative, non-cooperative, and mechanism design. Mostly we will see those which are in bold letters in a series of lectures, and a lot more, by the way. The list is not complete. So non-cooperative versus cooperative game theory. Non-cooperative game theories involve individual decision making or group decision making, where we specify procedures leading individual decisions to group outcome, and solution concepts which prescribes and predicts about the outcome of games, whereas cooperative game theory primarily deal with joint interactions. So, having seen different types of games, let's start. So what does it mean to say that an agent is self-interested? Self-interested does not mean they want to harm others, but just that they only care about themselves. Only that the agent has its own description of states of the world that it takes and acts based on this description. Each such agent has a utility function which quantifies degree of preference across different alternatives. It explains the impact of uncertainty, and the decision theoretic rationality is act to maximize expected utility. So what is a game? A game involves primarily these elements: players who are decision makers. It could be people, it could be companies, it could be government, it could be anything. And actions, what can the players do? Enter a bid in an auction, decide whether to end a strike, decide how to vote. Then strategies, among the possible actions, which action did I choose? Maybe this particular stock I chose today, or I will vote for none of the above option. I'm not happy with any of the contestants, so let me vote for none of the above option if there is a chance for me to vote. Payoffs, what motivates players to play that particular strategy? By selling that stock, what am I aiming to achieve? And outcome, by playing that particular strategy, I assumed my payoff to be X, but the outcome also determined by someone else who did participate in the game. So it's actually what I got by a mutual choice of strategies by all players in the game. So in the coming lectures, we will see about the basics of non-cooperative games. And with that, thank you.